This week we're going to talk about mendacity. Mendacity. The first time I heard that word, I was at a movie called Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. It starred Liz Taylor, Paul Newman, Jack Carson, and Burl Ives. And someone in that movie, I think it was Big Daddy Burl Ives, said, "Mendacity. I smell mendacity." And what I did is, I ran home, got my dictionary, and said, what does mendacity mean? And by golly, it means lies, liars, and habitual lying. Whoa, fancy word for liars. This brings me to an article that was published in the Fort Myers News Press in February of 2012, and it was authored by Mr. Robert Cohen, who is the Federal Security Director at the Southwest Florida International Airport. Now, Mr. Cohen wants us to know about the new advanced image technology machines that are being deployed at the airport. And he says that the scanners are justified, safe, non-invasive, and are an improvement. I quote, "With the installation of the latest software, we are able to employ state-of-the-art technology while taking privacy to the next level." Let me repeat that. Taking privacy to the next level. I don't know what that means, but they're taking it there. This software does not create a passenger-specific image. In fact, the computer-generated outline is the same for all passengers. Well, what do you have coming up there, Mr. Cohen? Stick figures? Did you remove the dance pole? Or what do we have now? What is the generic figure? He adds, and I quote, "The equipment cannot store, print, transmit, or save the generic outline, which is automatically deleted from the system when it is cleared by the security officer. The equipment cannot store, print, transmit, or save the generic outline." Really? Really? Now, it's my understanding that cell phones can store, print, transmit, and save images. Now, the reason for that is that we human beings often want to look back over our history in order to see the pictures we took and see what happened. But you don't want to do that. Now, a cell phone costs a couple $100. The advanced image technology machines cost a couple $100,000, and they can't do what a cell phone does? Really? Did you get ripped off? I mean, what's going on here? Are you that incurious, Mr. Cohen? Do you really not care to look back under any circumstances? For example, if you have 100 people flying out on an aircraft and they are all subjected to the advanced image scanning, they go through your machine and they go on the aircraft, 100 people scanned, and they're at 10,000 feet, and someone got a weapon on board, there's a firefight, and people lose their lives. Wouldn't you want to look back to find out how the hell did the weapon get aboard the plane? How could that happen? You're that incurious. You wouldn't want to know if, well, did the machine malfunction? Did something go wrong with the machine? That happens. Or perhaps, was it TSA officer error? People make mistakes. Maybe the officer got distracted by something and he pushed the wrong button. Or perhaps TSA negligence. Perhaps the officer is negligent somehow. Or perhaps it is TSA complicity in an act of sabotage and treason. Maybe you really don't want to look back and have anybody find out what you're really doing. Mr. Cohen goes on to further state that this technology doesn't stand alone. It's one part of our multi-layered strategy to minimize risk, deter future attacks, and protect the traveling public. Those layers include behavior detection officers, canine teams, and explosive trace detection technology. All in place at your local airport and all there to protect you. Really. Mikey, mendacity! I smell mendacity! There's been a strong reaction to last week's message. Many of you were appalled to discover that the TSA is systematically sexually abusing children at our airports. And I want to respond to that because you're asking me, what can we do? What can be done? You get this, Mike? You got this? This is a picture of Jerry Sandusky, and it's about the Penn State scandal. Many of you may know about that. Caption says, Jerry Sandusky, former Penn State assistant football coach, charged with sexually abusing boys, was cited as a likely pedophile in 1998. Now, in 98, Mr. Sandusky was no longer a coach for Joe Paterno. He had retired. In 1998, the Board of Trustees at Penn State knew, or should have known, that Mr. Sandusky was a likely pedophile, and the administrators knew, or should have known, that Mr. Sandusky was a likely pedophile, since they had a police report and a psychologist report. But in 1998, they did nothing to protect the children. In 2002, Joe Paterno reported an allegation of sexual abuse of a child to the administrators in charge of the Penn State campus police, and he reported to other top university officials. He did what he was supposed to do. He reported it to the police and the administrators. And the administrators and the trustees did nothing. Until 2011, when they fired Joe Paterno, who did nothing wrong and did everything right. God bless you, Mr. Paterno. Let me ask you a question. This is a photograph of Mr. Sandusky. Would you hire this man to babysit your children or to run your daycare center? In 1998, if you knew that this man was a likely pedophile, would you have him minding your children? I don't think so. Which brings us to the TSA. They know children are being sexually abused at their checkpoints. They have that information, they know it, they're bureaucrats, and they're doing nothing. If your child is to be protected, you have to protect the child. Mom, grandmom, you don't have to fly. You don't have to fly. There are other ways to travel. Protect your child because these bureaucrats aren't going to do it. This is the second in a series of educational sessions on the TSA and our freedom. My name is Bill Burkhart, author of Flying Are You Safe? TSA, Unsafe, Untrustworthy, Un-American, Architects of the Next 9/11. If they can't be trusted, don't trust them. Thank you very much for watching.